I was not recording. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binding findings, and hellions of all walks of life. My name is Javante. I almost hit the wrong buttons like 3 times. And welcome to Blood and Cinders, a game based around the world of Sominus Dominus, made by Logan Laidlaw using the 5.19 system. I said all of that really, really fast. Before we get into today's episode, go around and introducing our cast, who you are, who you play, and who is your favorite non-Marvel and DC hero. We're going to start with Holly.
God, I got so distracted by the question. I'm Holly. I'm playing Canian, the runaway noble, Petal Knight. Um, are we just talking superheroes?
No,
No?
no, you
Fuck.
can use anyone.
Um, I think just for the sake of I'm bad at making choices and who really is an archetypical hero for me, I'm gonna say Sora.
Hell yeah, I can respect that. Panda.
Hi, I'm Red Panda Cola, and tonight I'll be playing Dreki, Filthy Arm, our Sword Saint. As for heroes, since I guess we're not limited to just comic books, although technically this is a comic, I'm gonna have to say Kafka Hibino or Kaiju number 8 because he is a 30-something-year-old dude who gets to fulfill his dreams and is willing to do whatever it takes to protect people, even if that means becoming a monster to do it.
Ark.
Hello, everyone. I am Ark or Arclight Court, Gridmaster, Lighthouse Keeper, Lore Rider, Beacon onto all beacons. Tonight I'm playing Orm, the slightly ornery vampire barbarian. Uh, and I got two vastly different, one from the east, one from the west. Haunt from IDW Dark Horse, the preacher turned possessed by his brother's spirit spawn venom combination. Super good, love it. Um, but also archetypical Izuku Midoriya. Like I got show love to my boy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pie guy.
Hello, I'm Pie or Pie Guy. I'm playing everyone's maybe not so favorite anymore Dad Bard, Adrian Adelard. And I think I have three off the top of my head. One actual hero, Mark Grayson, Invincible. Um, the other two, I'm not sure if they would count as your typical heroes, but they immediately popped in my head. The first being my favorite, Captain Titus from Warhammer, and then Kratos. I don't know if they would count as exact heroes, but they're heroes to me, damn it.
He is, by all technical
Kratos in the
accounts, he
later
is a
two,
hero.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Heroes
I
to
It
I
me.
had
depends
another
on the
answer.
camera you're looking at. From the Imperium, yes. Elsewhere,
um, and then hi, it's me. I'm your GM, Javante. And my favorite hero, not from DC or Marvel, Jackie Estacado.
I was like, who's gonna say the darkness? It's gonna be somewhere.
It's gonna be me
Oh, the
because he's
darkness, of
awesome.
course.
Because he's awesome,
Yeah,
and we need
I
another game.
I thought of Draki, but I'm like, is he a hero? I think he's more anti-hero given the way how brutal the fucker is.
Hey, so who wants to do a recap of what happened last time?
Hi.
All right, let's do
Oh,
this. All right,
how's it going, Panda?
let's go
How's it
ahead.
going, Panda?
Let's get that recap.
we all knew what was going on. So we picked up with us leaving the auction and finally moving to where we were meeting up with Law, which was at a temple. That temple ended up happening to be the temple of Lana that was, taken care of by a Hattislin whose name we have yet to find out. As none of us thought to ask. We were a little preoccupied. Some shit happened. Let's be fair. Um, we found out they want to put this statue in Arborea, which is a realm under one of the Eidolons. To Quinn, to be exact. At least hers is part of it. Either way. Um, During that time, however, a certain bard decided to have an issue with money in the temple and stole some copper, which is a no-no when it comes to Lana. So some shit started happening, and they played a card game, which his ass got beat after saying there's no such thing as luck, and continue to say that shit in the Temple of Lana, the goddess of fortune and temptation. But after that, being put in his place and getting cranky, he left, which the rest of us were like, what the fuck? He went to the courtroom, the courthouse that the auction was held in. Apparently decided to play Now You See Me with one of his playing cards, ex-wife, by hucking the fucking thing across the
It's
way.
cool, damn it.
I'm sorry, the second you described that, I was just thinking of that one clip where they're just tossing the fucking playing card
Absolutely.
around. After that, he wandered the streets only to be found by Elle and Rummage, which they had a discussion, and he got charmed, and then had something shoved in his brain. Only for him to come back and pass a message onto Orm once he touched him, to which Orm violently reacted. And after that, they separated, and Orm stormed off. And we left on Filtiarn going, we need to talk. And that was when we cut off. Oh, wait, no. We apparently cut to a meeting between L. Rummage and a certain interesting fellow that somebody else in our party met, having discussion and plans. And that was it.
And in the temple, with the entire group now reunited, a nice indent in the wall having been made via Orm slamming Dad Bard into the wall with all the force that he can muster without killing him. Um, Tempers are still a little high. This being said, the temple itself has taken a bit like of this sort of moment of quietness as the Hadislan is kind of just busying herself, mostly tending to smaller areas around the temple, making sure that certain candles are lit, making sure there's still some offerings left out, cleaning tables, things like that.
Orm's gonna go and ask the attendant for a singular candle.
I can do that. Why just the one? If you don't mind me asking.
Um, there is a very old meditation ritual for those of elven descent that I feel inclined to perform.
Okay. One moment. And she moves over to the table and picks up a currently unlit waxen candle and then holds it out to you.
Thank you. Is there a solitary space within here?
She thinks about that answer. There's a few spare rooms that one could use. I'd offer the vault, but you're not really allowed.
You guys don't have like a confessional booth or something? I mean, everything I know about churches must be really different
She
then.
looks around the place. We're not really the kind of place that does confession.
Fair enough. And then Orm will go fuck off to a a chamber, essentially.
And as you move to the chamber in specific, leaving the other three of you still in the main room, there is this sense of the place kind of returning to a level of normalcy for a Temple of Lana. Um, there's still this air of not mischievousness, I suppose, but almost willing luck.
Orm will sit down in this space. He's what is the room or space that he ends up finding himself in? Because I know Kanian ended up in a sex dungeon at some point in time.
Yeah.
The room itself is it seems to be the place where they predominantly store a lot of the communal wine and things of that nature. Um, it seems full, but in the sense of that this place has seen a lot of drink.
Okay. Um, Orm will just take the candle, set it on the floor in front of him, sit, legs crossed, not like leaning over the candle, but to where it's perfectly between the 2 points of his knees, essentially. Um, and we'll start the old Sylvan ritual of the candle of forgotten things.
Mm. Pull up thing. You sent me stuff, and I'm just pulling that up.
You want me to describe what he's doing while you grab it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Orm removes like the button-up shirt, the jacket. He's sitting in just the dress pants itself, uh, grounded into essentially what would be like the sense of his former ancestry. And he waits for a moment until he can finally calm and clear his mind, even after the memory you know uh, input and the situation earlier, clears his mind and just tries to let himself remember a small detail from his past, whatever it might be, like the smell of a specific room, but not the room itself, the color of a specific flower, but not where the garden is from. Um, and once he's like allowing himself that small menial focus, is when he'll light the candle.
Can you roll me a D100?
Absolutely. A two.
Your memory flashes to the scent of mildew and the sight of spider webs, far larger than they should be.
Does this feel comfortable? Does it feel safe? Does it feel, or just this is a moment where I was in this same emotional place?
This seems to be this. The sight of the scent of mildew stirs nothing. It just seems like a smell that you became familiar with. The memory of the spider web fills you with a deep primal fear. Not one that seems to carry like the normal level of caution. It's something in the mammalian part of your brain.
Got it. And I just Orm holds on to that former feeling, not letting it take over himself, but like acknowledging the connection between those things. And once it feels like he has that mildew smell and those webs committed to memory, uh, he leans down and blows out the candle, and in Sylvan says, "You were not lost," and just sits there with it for a moment.
I'm gonna roll a die real quick, just to check something. Or rather, just see who's going to get this.
Shit, fuck, guys, he's rolling dice.
That's never good.
Fireball.
That's yeah, that sounds about right. Filtiarn,
Yes.
everything is calm and collected, and then you hear something in your brain. Oi, is this? Which one of the group am I talking to right now? You can reply to this.
Kind of, as he's about ready to kind of like give Adrian some sort of talking, he just stops and goes, "Here's that." Thinking, what the fuck? Do I realize this is a spell?
Yes.
Okay, so I realize it's the sending spell. Whoever this is, Iltiarn.
There's a
That's who you're talking to.
There's a moment's pause, and then. Okay, good. I only have like one more of these in this thing. So, there's been issues with a recent job y'all did, and we're gonna need you to. This is easier, and then the sound cuts off. There's another like couple seconds pause, and then just in person. Sorry, ran out the words.
Okay. And where are we meeting in person if there's apparently issues with their job?
There is no response.
Fuck.
So me and Kanian are in this room with him.
Yep.
Do we see? I almost called you Dreki. Do we see? Do we see Filtiarn like get
out
ready
loud.
to walk away with me? And then, well, I was gonna ask, is it in his head or does he just stop and say all this out loud?
That's a good question. Do you do your sending spells out loud or in your head?
Um,
Because
I
like,
think
do we
the
just
second
see him stock still and?
I think the second he stops and realizes it's a sending spell, because he's pretty much understood the mechanics of it, he keeps it in his mind, knowing he doesn't have to speak it out loud and seem absolutely fucking insane. So they'll see him stop for a solid 3 minutes while this back and forth goes, and then when the last of it happens and he gets nothing back because he's like, oh right, they said they had one more left, he looks at the others. This isn't done. Apparently we have somebody to meet because there's apparently an issue with the job.
What could we have done wrong?
More issues.
What can we have
Yeah,
done
they give
wrong?
you-
4 beams of light emanate from the sky.
That wasn't us.
Wasn't us!
That wasn't us.
I would imagine the commotion didn't go unnoticed.
They give you a time frame.
No.
Can we get some rest?
Since I don't know where we're supposed to be meeting them, yes. They sent me sending spells, whoever this is, and they ran out of slots, but ran out of spells before they could respond. So I don't know where we're meeting them. However, that gives me time then. And he'll focus on Adrian. So, couple things. You realize we have people looking for us right now, right?
Where?
I'm assuming you ran into the two of them.
Ran into some people.
Uh-huh. We have to play this more carefully now. Especially if you care about your family.
Well, I'm aware of that now.
That also goes into this other thing. What is your deal with luck? Is it a control thing? Because on the 8, it better not be a control thing.
It is an affront to everything that I have spent my life training to do.
Which
That
is
sounds like a control thing.
it sounds a lot like that, yeah.
I've trained my life to play cards. I've trained my life to play dice. I learned how to play games. It's not just
Okay.
mere luck. There's skill to it.
Sure. But someone can make the argument, yeah, there's skill to it of reading the luck that's coming. You're in a house dedicated to the goddess of fortune, also known as luck. And luck can either go piss poorly or great, depending on who you are and how well you read the.
I am more than okay with other people believing in luck and thinking luck runs their lives. I've made my way through my skill and my skill alone, and I've
And how
learned
well did your
not to
marriage
trust.
go?
Oh my god.
Because that was luck in and of itself. The luck of finding somebody, and then that luck went away.
Kanian is going to slowly back away.
Hey, Kanyan, can you go ahead and give me a perception check real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Ooh, God damn it! Why'd I waste my last suggestion?
I suggest you go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Hey, Filthy Arm, I
There's
suggest
a room for it.
14 perception.
As you back up, you get, before you take too many steps back, your fur begins to bristle as you begin to realize, like, there's somebody else here.
I'm going to, while they are arguing, sort of like circle these two, and I'm like posing it like I'm trying to like stay watch on the situation, make sure things don't break out, but I am sort of like circling to just sweep between them.
With the 14,
Does that make sense?
as you do this little sweep, as they're arguing, they're in a position that they aren't able to see, but you can see as you're moving, someone just sitting on one of the tables, watching, tapping her fingers on the table, just bemused. Appearance-wise, she looks like a red-skinned woman. You're unsure of elven or human descent,
Okay,
but just
cool.
bright red skin, blondish hair, and a very form-fitting, flowy style dress that seems cut in all the areas that can tantalize or tease. Just watching, with a very bemused smile on her face.
Okay,
Is one of the eyes covered?
Yes.
okay, cool. All right. I feel like Kanian can maybe start making the same assumptions I am then. Um, and we'll actually pipe in now and say, I know I wasn't in the room for it, but given how much violent tension is in the air, what the fuck happened?
Before you say that, can I circle back to mid argument because I'm
Oh, yeah.
a bastard of a human being?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to preface this
Just
by
assume
saying,
Kanian cuts in when it gets too far.
yeah. Well, it's about to. And I want to preface this by saying, Panda, I love you. You're a great person. I'm only doing this because I'm a bastard and I'm playing a bard.
Hey, I admittedly know I went low with fucking Filtiar. Go for it.
Oh no, and we lost that opinion. Oh no. Clip it, clip it. It happened. It happened.
The moon's trying to fucking kill me on itch.io.
Fucking get it.
Oh, okay. Because you drop that bomb, and Adrian, and I'm only doing this because I love you and I'm playing a bard. He's gonna pipe in and say, well, at least I've learned that my family still love me and they're not trying to stick a sword through my stomach, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for vicious mockery.
Okay.
And I'm only doing that because I'm a bard.
That's an 8. However,
I'm alive.
Oh, we plugged your game. We still plugged your game.
I also got the clip. I also got the clip.
On my side, everyone just blinked out one by one.
Oh no. Wait.
What did I miss?
I said that I'm being a bastard of a human being, and I told Filtiarn that at least my family still loves me, and they're not trying to stab me through the stomach with a sword, and then I vicious mockery them.
It's only for skill checks. Okay, so that's just an 8. So yeah, I'm getting hit with a.
It's a fail, and you'll take 3 points of psychic damage as my words cut through you.
I'm going to change what
That's
I
probably
do.
that's probably the escalation where you cut in.
Yeah. If it's okay with Filtiarn, I'd like to react before I assume that he murders this bard.
I will say his reaction is his body goes rigid, and you'll hear a low growling emanating from him. So he hasn't moved yet.
I'm going to actually step in between both of you and just sort of like lightly push, like just sort of that like, all right, step away from each other just to get you guys away. And the second you do, I am casting anti-gravity zone on Adrian.
Oh, what is
You
this?
are just going to be floating in the air.
Does it just happen?
I believe it does.
Anti-gravity zone? Yes. Because it's just a field of
Yeah,
anti-gravity.
the area within the sphere is treated as a zero gravity environment.
Because it doesn't hurt
Oh,
anything. It just makes
that's a hilarious. So I turn into a spaceman.
So as
Yeah,
that
you're just
happens,
sort of floating.
There's both of you. Adrian is floating. Filtiarn is angry. You all just hear a very quick just. Being genuine, I ain't seen this much fun in my temple in quite some time.
Do I hear the clapping?
Yes.
Okay. I'd be coming out after the clapping.
Now, far be it from me from having you all continue this nice little bit of bemusement, but unfortunately my temple isn't quite suited for more direct confrontation. as the woman makes her presence known.
Just midair, like floating around. Who the?
Looks in the direction. Can I see who it is?
Yes.
I don't know how the best way to ask. Do I realize who this is,
Well,
or
to be fair, she is seated underneath a statue depicting the exact same woman.
All right, she knows the
she
game.
said my temple twice. So he just kind of looks in that direction and stops. And you know that thing of somebody looking between one thing and the other a few times, like he's not quite believing what he's seeing? Yeah, you see that a few times of his head moving up and down from under his hood. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Howdy.
All right. I understand this is a more pressing thing. A literal goddess potentially being here. What the fuck happened? Why have we reached the point where I have to put Adrian in a bubble?
It just looks like tempers are high, that's all. Seems to happen sometimes, especially with, she seems to think about how she wants to say this. Rambunctious men and the like.
You guys know they have like a whole room full of these bottles, right?
Is that where I found the bottles I
Yes.
grabbed?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Well,
It's
hi,
like entirely filled.
Well, hi, sugar.
Well, hello, darling.
Charmer. You are drinking my wine, though.
You've got better taste than most, I would say.
Oh, aren't you just adorable? Unfortunately speaking, sugar, you ain't exactly my type.
Oh, you haven't tasted me yet.
She gives like a little wink. As for that,
You would only be so lucky.
As for that one, would you mind letting dear little Adrian out?
Yeah, you know, why am I in the bubble? I just throw words around.
It's okay. Come here, Adrian.
I came back into this room. Don't touch him yet. I came back into this room and Orm was attempting to kill you, and then you tried getting Filthy on to try to kill you. What the fuck did you do in the interim? And then I'm going to drop anti-gravity zone and just let you fall.
How high up do I go?
You know, it's not that high.
It's like a 15-foot sphere, so yeah.
15
Float like
Okay.
You're like maybe like 7 feet in the center of it, just floating
Yeah.
in a gyroscope seat.
Enough that if you
There's no
landed-
real way to land gracefully.
Enough that if you landed on your feet, you get that weird like jolting feeling. in
Oh,
your ankle, and you're
yeah.
like, no, don't do that. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It's like when you fall off of a slide and you land on your feet and you're like,
Which is why, roleplay wise, I'm gonna say he falls on his face.
You know, it's quite something that somebody who stakes their entire being on gambling doesn't understand the value of luck.
He, gets up, dusts himself off. As he's getting up, he's like, I prefer to believe in myself.
What says luck doesn't believe in you?
I do.
Oh.
Don't choose to believe in luck. And I choose to work my way with my own abilities. Even if I'm talking to the direct personification of luck.
So one might
Still
say,
believe in myself.
So one might say that you believing in yourself means that you willed yourself into the current position that you're in, living at a bar by yourself.
It's not glamorous, but I put myself there. Luck didn't put me there. I put myself there.
You're right.
And yes, he has a point, and I point towards Filthy Arn. and I put myself there. As bad as it is, I put myself there. It's not luck. I found myself here with this group. I found myself here with the coin in my pocket. That's me.
So one might declare you a gambling man?
Just shrugs his shoulders after the failed game, like one might.
Then how about a bet?
Ugh. Unfortunately, I can't say no.
That's why you're one of my favorites. So, I'll wager this. And she holds her hand out, flicks her hand, and you see that what appears in it is a coin. On one side is your face, on the other side is hers. And she flicks it over to you.
Grab it.
That is luck. A personification of part of my ability. If ever you decide to use that luck, you'll become a favored one of mine, shall we say. But if you don't, I'll use whatever power I have within me to grant you one thing of whatever you desire. In game terms, you are holding a luck point. You may use it at any point as you would a luck roll. However, if you choose not to use it, and we will say if you hit level 8, and you choose not to use luck, you will be granted the wish spell.
God damn.
If you choose to use the luck point at any time before you hit level 8, you will gain a class in Favored Soul specifically for Lana.
Interesting. Okay. He will... In my head, out of character, I'm thinking, oh great, so I either lose luck, or I either use luck, or I get a gift via luck. This is a lose-lose.
He smiles.
But he will, hold out his hand to shake and just give I'm never one to back down from a bet. You're on.
Strides towards you, takes your hand in hers and gives it a very delicate shake. With that delicate shake, I have to pick my wife up from work. So we will be taking a very quick break, and I will be right back.
Fair enough.
We attempt to do it.
No worries.
Is it gonna happen? Is the tornado gonna rip through?
I did get a warning for 80-mile-per-hour winds.
Hell
no.
yeah!
No.
Really?
The audio's
Just,
still on stream.
Don't worry, I genuinely don't know if my Wi-Fi is going to stay around.
The audio's still on the wait screen. Well,
That's fine.
We got the clip though. We did get the
we
clip.
got the clip. And you know what? Anyone watching, you may not see our faces right now, but at least you can enjoy the tornado talk.
Yeah.
No one say anything bad.
Keep all the cats downstairs.
Do you live somewhere that's big with tornadoes? I realize you probably shouldn't say while we're still live, Mike.
But I don't think so. But
Are we
it,
live mic right now?
We are, yeah. The audio didn't be removed from the Be Right Back screen, so that's why I said to anyone still here, you may not see us, but enjoy the tornado talk.
incredible. New podcast.
Yeah, new podcast. Welcome to the Blood and Cinders podcast, everyone. We're your four
Great
hosts,
podcast.
the players of Blood and Cinders.
Welcome to the waiting screen in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an amazing. That's
Yeah.
the podcast name. If this ever happens again, this is our podcast. Waiting stream in between.
Exactly.
You know, I'm
Today's
gonna fuck
topic.
this goddess.
Today's topics: death via tornado and sex with gods.
I mean, Lana is fine.
Is there an actual picture? There's not one in the PDF.
Because it's in a different PDF.
Oh, which one is
Yeah.
that?
Fateful Vault.
Oh, isn't? Oh, yeah. I just go to Kickstarter.
Or, hold on. Let me do you a solid.
Stand by.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Ah, don't
Shut
do
it.
it. I fucking wish, man. I'm sad. Now I'm sad.
Y'all, okay. My favorite version of that line. Y'all ever play Evolve?
Yes.
Yes.
You know the character Bucket,
Mhm.
Robot Bucket. Every now and then, when you would spawn in as him, he would have a line referencing Titanfall where he would go stand by for Bucketfall, and it was great.
Amazing.
I
Incredible.
wish that game did not turn into the monetization mess that it did, where you had to spend $8 to unlock a character. Because
The
if
dumpster
it
fire it became.
if it stayed how it was, didn't go heavy into the monetization, and then later down the line went free to play, I feel like Evolve would still be fairly alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Because we got games like Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has lived forever.
Oh yeah.
And-
it's
and
still living,
they're-
'cause they keep
yeah.
adding crap.
But they keep adding stuff at reasonable prices too. Like
Yeah.
if you want Leatherface, you just gotta throw like $4 at it. If you
Yeah.
want
And sometimes it's
Albert
not
Wesker.
even that. It's legitimate game progression that you can convert the game
Yeah.
currency to get the skins or the characters that you're looking for.
and like you know, even the bigger DLC packs, like if you want Jill Valentine and Nemesis, it's only like $15. Like that's not, you get 2 full characters, a full set of perks, you get, I think you get in-game
Brand new
currency too.
skill tree.
Yeah. Versus, you know, when you play Evolve and, oh yeah, come here and pay $9 for, you know, this new monster. Which, I mean, it theoretically, that shouldn't be a problem. But when they were releasing the monsters fairly frequently, I think fairly freely too.
Yeah.
And then you start getting these extra monsters that, oh, if you want to play the flaming behemoth, you gotta pay $8. It's like, really? Really? Why wouldn't you just release the variant monsters for free or for like $4? Like, come on, Evolve. Come on, Turtle Rock. I think that's why they died. Doesn't Turtle Rock not exist anymore?
I don't think they do.
No, it does. Tencent owns them.
That's
that,
rough.
That explains a lot.
But it also
And they
became an
haven't-
issue where, like, if you were playing online and someone was playing one of the, like, purchased monsters that you didn't have, you couldn't see it. And
Really?
it
That
was
was a-
just, yeah, it was a real bad, like, issue that they had when they moved to purchasing the additional monsters.
It literally
That they
locked
had
it out
to-
other players, which is stupid.
And then they moved to, oh, if you don't have this, you won't get matched with people who do own it. So if your friend owned it and they were playing Hunter alongside you, you two would never be paired together because they own something in-game that you don't own.
Yeah.
Evolve could have been so great, and it was great for the first, like, I want to say like year, maybe half year after it came out. I had so much fun with it. Like the game had legitimate like tournaments too. Like there were full-blown tournaments. I was friends with like the #1 Kraken player at the time.
Hell yeah.
At one point, I think I was in like the top 50 Behemoth players.
Let's go.
It was so much fun. And the monetization. And then it just slowly died down. And then, granted, they did come out with the Evolve version 2.0, which was the free-to-play.
Mhm.
and I do think it saw a boost in player numbers, but I think at that point it was just too late. Like going free to play wasn't going to save you.
It's one of the reasons why I have so much love that I do for Marvel Rivals with what it's doing with its own system and everything. Is like it's free to play the whole way through.
Mhm.
The only thing you're realistically paying for is if you want the cosmetic, like specific cosmetics that make zero change to the character as far as like its capabilities or anything like that. It's just purely cosmetic stuff. And in-game currency converts to
I was gonna
use
say,
as purchase power for the cosmetics if you want them.
like you don't even have to buy anything, because I mean you would have to play for a long time, but like currently I've played for a long enough time to be able to buy the trenchcoat thing skin and currently another skin if I want, just simply by doing missions.
Yep. Same.
And it does the bonus of, you know, obviously you have to buy them first, but once you buy a battle pass, you have it forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. Like
for that specific season, you have it forever. It's yours.
yeah, like even now I saw they brought back the season 0 battle pass for a cheaper price, which I love. I love that they're thinking about
They allow you to
back battle passes in the
still-
future.
They allow you to still work on previous battle passes anyway.
And it's only, I think they said they're looking at even lowering it even more to where it's only 20% of what the cost was when it had initially launched.
They've already done that with the return of the season 0 battle pass. I think it was something like you had to pay like $10 if you wanted to like buy the coins to buy the battle pass. I think they just reduced it to like $5. I think you need, like, if you want these original battle pass, throw $5 at the game. Guess what? You have all the original stuff.
Yeah, and even then, you could even do it for if you've been progressing in the battle pass in the season already. It's like $2, $3 plus the chrono tokens that you would have accrued since the beginning of season 2 to unlock it right now.
Yeah,
And it's like hell yeah.
Their monetization is great because you know you spend $20 on a battle pass, right? You buy the battle pass. By the time you're done with that battle pass, you have nearly enough. You just have to spend a couple dollars, and boom, you have the new season's battle pass.
Yep.
Like you earn practically enough to get right there to the next season.
It's beautiful. I love it. I appreciate them so much. It's such a good fucking game.
God, the second that Ultron drops, dude. The second that Ultron drops, I'm going to fight every single one of you for this character.
Listen, there are 2 people in this call who have been support mains who reserve the right to play it first. Okay, we get our first flying support.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't even give a shit about the flying. It's just that he's Ultron.
Exactly.
I won't play him because he's flying, but that's me. Yep, audio's been going on the stream.
Yeah, Javante, welcome to the
We're back. Sorry about that. I hope you all enjoyed the Wait Screen podcast.
The wait screen in between
the
podcast.
wait screen in between. Trademarked.
Where we pick
Copyrighted.
as we're picking back up with the interesting little notation there. As she delicately shakes your hand and then finally lets go, she begins to stride back over to the table, sits down onto it again.
Orm is seated on the same table.
So, I didn't mean to interrupt any of y'all's proceedings. Y'all can go right on ahead, and I'll offer whatever advice you do deign to ask me, maybe.
We've got a few questions, if you don't mind.
I don't mind yet, depends.
Can I? Oh man, do I even need to roll an insight to see Orm being freaky?
I'm a vampire. I'm always freaky.
That's fair.
Curious situations have found me out of time, out of place, out of home, out of understanding. Without giving away the whole picture for me, just how long was I separated?
She kind of gives you a look up and down. I mean, centuries have definitely passed for you. You have the look of someone that wasn't around for the Accords, so long enough. Can't give you full detail, but quite a while.
No, don't tell me the whole story. I want to earn the ending.
After she answers, all that's in real life player's head, and I'm gonna say by extension character's head, is Adrian's just gonna say, Orm, where'd this southern accent come?
Glad you noticed it. That is his version of Sylvan in common.
Oh, it's southern. It's got a southern twang.
That's the same way he was speaking at the auction house as well with people.
Ah, right.
It's his conversion of the dialect and accent of Sylvan into common.
I like that. I dig it.
No, don't give me the whole story. I want to earn the ending. The other question that I have is something softer. How would you find something you lost but don't know where that lost thing is?
She seems to think about that answer. Picks up the deck of cards that's on the table and just begins to shuffle it. Find something that's lost when you don't know where to look for it. I think the simplest is you just start looking for what other people have lost. Eventually, you'll find what you're looking for.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'd count my luck 10 times harder if I knew I was spending the night with you, sweetheart. But I know that's not a thing for me right now. And then we'll, like, I don't know how. Nah, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. Orm, as he sits up from the table where she was seated, just lets his hand, like, the fingertips dance across her back where the different openings in her dress are.
She laughs, but in a very, like, I'm letting you keep that hand laugh.
Yeah, he knows. He's not dumb.
You pulled the gladiator in the wheat field.
I have no idea what that means. We can, obviously, we're all having discussions out in the open. Now, I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you. I don't hold any ill will or ill repute towards you. By any gesture, any action, or any words that you have ascribed yourself to be in, be a part of, or entertain. You are a friend. And it's rare I find any of those. Especially in, and turns back to the literal goddess in the room for how long I've been displaced. And friends look out for each other. As we have in fights and outside of them, I want you to be safe. Because whether you like it or not, I care about you now.
Don't go, yes, this was the goal. In character, um, Adrian looks at you and then will look at Bill Tiarn and say, words were thrown around. Some might have quite literally hurt more than others. Nodding towards Phil Tiarn. Which I imagine Vicious Mockery is probably like a headache feeling, because it's psychic damage.
Yeah.
Do
I think
wanna...
it would have passed by now
It
since
would've
it
passed by
doesn't
this
last
point.
that long.
Yeah,
But
would have passed by this point.
Did you want to butt in before I...
he just will just kind of move over to where he put the bottles of wine and grab one of them and use his mouth to wrench open one of the bottles and just starts drinking. It seems this conversation is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. So, as I said, some words hurt more than others. Maybe a rest would benefit some of us, and we'll feel better come the morning when the heat isn't so hot and I don't throw my chances to go flying in the sky again.
You just say sorry, Adrian. Stop dancing on words and playing with fire.
I'm getting there. Not done monologuing.
Please continue. There's a literal god in the room.
If
Yeah.
Bill Tiarn rolled his eyes any harder, you would hear it.
That was me to Orm a second ago. You know, but... And he'll take out he'll reach into one of his pockets and take out like a pendant. I actually need to see what this pendant looks like. I don't know if I have a description. As I scroll.
I feel so proud of myself. I got Panda in the middle of that.
What is there a lovely dungeon master who knows all? Is there a description for a pendant or symbol of Vathindel, the story keeper?
Of Vethindel?
Yeah.
I have all the stuff. Give me a minute.
Should be. They are specifically related to this world, right?
Vethindel? Yeah.
Yeah, it should be in the book.
Yes, it is. One moment while I pull that up. I just...
Because I have
Actually,
the page on the actual
the pendant
divination.
would look like... The image on the pendant would look like an open book with a bookmark. Not really like a bookmark, but like one of those book ribbons coming out of the back of this open book. I will go ahead and give you a little screeny so that you know what
actually, I have the image myself.
You do?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me post it in items of
Yes,
note.
please. Thank you.
I have the asset.
God
Katie,
damn it,
you
I
want
just
to
saw the
take a
meme.
shot with the goddess?
With a goddess, I'm okay.
She gestures.
I mean, you're literally testing your luck with the goddess of luck. I mean, it's at least worth a shot.
She gestures.
I-
Canadian.
That's fun.
All due respect, I feel like it would be insulting to both of us if I tried to
But you're
overstep my station.
It's like an offering towards the exact thing she draws power from. So you're empowering a woman by attempting to hit on this
I
goddess.
shot a magic mirror today with a gun. I think I've tested my luck enough.
Still have no idea what that is, but I'm proud of you for doing it.
We've tested our luck enough with the ones related to my master.
I'll still do it.
Mid monologue, trying to apologize. mid monologue.
Continue, please.
And he'll pull out this pendant, this book pendant, and say, "This is why I don't put my faith in luck, despite being a bard of gambling type, to put my belief in stories and those that follow." I'm ignoring her. I am not looking.
She's just looking at the pendant with the most like, really, like look on her face.
Was
Really?
not
You?
looking, and he'll say, "I don't know how the two of you would want to split this, but take this as a sign of my apologies and my sorries, and I will leave this
I got an idea.
word of
Phil.
wisdom with the both of you real quick, being that behind every bad day is an even greater
I got an idea, Phil Tiarn.
Did you just call him Phil?
You were mid monologue, okay?
What?
He has to wear it publicly, not in his pocket anymore.
I got one better for you. And he'll look over to Lana. Are you able to manifest your own symbol?
Of course I can.
For the first time, you see a kind of wicked grin spread across his mouth from under his hood. And he'll look right at Adrian. He's going to be wearing that.
There is a because he's apologizing, you do see like a spark of magic from his fingertips, like he's about to cast something, and then you see it die down through like gritted teeth.
Oh, Vethi's gonna love this. She snaps her fingers as the other side of this pendant fills in, and you now see a silver back with a scales on it, which is the symbol of Lana. So the front still has the symbol of Ethindrel, the back now has the symbol of Lana.
It's so that she's closer to you.
Now you'll be near and dear to your heart.
My point and goal with it is stop hiding. If you're going to be something, be it. Be it proudly.
Fine, but I like this side better, and I'll put it on with the book facing forward.
As much as you might say you don't like luck, it plays into our lives every day. Good or bad.
As I recall, y'all were hoping for a rest of some kind, correct?
I'm fine, unless you want to rest with me.
Again, sugar, not quite my taste.
I think
I'm
trying till I change your
fire.
tongue.
I'm gonna go find my own room, grab a bottle, and go walk off.
You don't want to ask me anything, Adrian?
Nope, I'm good.
What about you, Phil TR?
Before he looks at Lana, he'll look at, as Adrian's walking by, for the record, I don't like having to say what I did, but there was a point to that. You're not the only one who's lost family due to bad luck.
Daniel, now's your chance. Go ahead. At least one or two.
One or two what?
You were raised in a capital. You got to have some kind of like go-to line.
I was a bastard.
You watch what you say about my friends.
So am I. What's your point?
And you too.
It's not a lie.
That doesn't mean I gotta like it.
as much as Adrian doesn't like to do this, at the core of his person, he's still a dad. So he's gonna spin on his heels and like get ready to like, Kanian, you know, do you need me to teach you? Do you need pickup lines?
I'll put you back in the bubble.
Have a good night, everyone. Offers here if you need it.
If there's nothing else, I did come down here for another reason besides making a deal with good old Adrian.
I was actually going to ask.
And I put my clothes back on too early then.
I don't think you're that lucky.
I can keep trying.
Barely.
We gotta get Orm. We gotta get Orm into the freaky room. Send him there.
I'm assuming you were there for the messages I just got.
I was.
You know where this person is?
They're not too
Whoever
far from
they
the
are.
city. The good thing about being connected with some of the other, she thinks about how she wants to word this, deities, I suppose you might refer to them as. It makes it relatively easy to know where to keep track of all the others, especially when they have people coming in for their help, of course.
We got new messages.
That one.
I got a grand total of 3 of them from somebody.
Good, bad, fight, no fight.
To be determined. Apparently there's a problem with our job.
They'll
Madam,
be
if you don't mind, could you bring them here?
She thinks about it. I'm gonna roll a die. Let's see how lucky y'all are. Lucky enough, it's a nat 20.
Oh,
Yes. You see, you hit on them, and it works. I pressed my luck enough.
She takes some of the dice from the table, like rolls around in her hand. There's 3 of them, so if you don't mind, stand back a little bit. And she tosses these dice out. As they land on the ground, you see them begin to split apart as they begin to open up as arcane sigils. As you begin to see that these are teleportation circles that are all opening on the ground. You then hear a collective grouping of 3 as 3 individuals are teleported against their will into the church.
Run back around the corner. What is happening?
As you run back around the corner, you see in this bright light 3 individuals that slowly move out. 2 of them brandishing weapons, very confused.
I'd be quite careful with exactly what you think you're going to do right now. You are in the temple of a goddess who has brought you here to continue the message you sent earlier. Wait before you speak or breathe. Understand that I will do whatever she insists is necessary to remove you if you mean to cause any damage to this temple.
Orm, as you are about halfway through that, you begin to realize that as you're talking to one of them, you are having to talk up.
That's fine. I start at chest and then go to face.
And
Go ahead, Filter.
Filtiarn's head just looks at Orm when he says that, remembering the dent he put in the wall.
As this form that you're speaking to specifically turns, and you see this large stone axe with a very strange back the back of the axe looks like a dragon or a dinosaur's head. The front, like the spikes coming off of the back, as it jams into the ground. As this dark blue skin, what you first think is a dragonborn, but it's too bulky. It's too big as it turns just... You... an undead.
I wouldn't say such unkind things, friend.
No, not quite. Looks over, sees Filtiarn. Hanyo. The half-breed Arcoon. And the bard we were told about. How How'd we end up here?
Again, you find yourself in the temple of a great goddess who decided to remind you exactly what all is at play. I will inform you once again.
You
The
talk
three
a
of you.
lot.
Yes, and it's necessary. We are protected under sanctuary by this goddess. And in this temple, you sent messages and got lost in translation. We wish to fulfill the message and continue a conversation.
Let me be more succinct about it. You're in Lana's temple.
Another goddess I don't know about. It takes the axe and places it onto its back. I'm Kiryu. I was sent as a... Thinks about how it wants to respond. Guardian of this one. As behind Kiryu, you see a... First thought process is Hadislan, except her form looks unique. Many of you have only ever seen one of these, a crystal Hadislan. Figure-wise, she's about 5'10". Very beautiful ruby red hair in this like asymmetric undercut. Gleaming golden horns with ivory that also like sweeps along the sides. This marble white color on her skin with this gold marbling and golden markings that kind of run along her, and these brilliant sapphire blue eyes. She kind of like peeks around from Kiryu for a moment. I messaged that one, she points to Filtiarn. If I'm right, I'm going to presume.
Assuming the voice is the same,
Yes.
he will nod his head. Yeah, that's me.
The third figure also kind of like steps to the side of the this massive. Okay, you know, I have to ask. Orm, you're not going to do this roll because you would have fuck all idea on this one.
Yeah,
the other
I will say one thing. As they're starting to, like when their eyes turn to Filtiarn, Orm is going to signal to Kanian. Because he's seen Kanian do something with his sword from a distance that hurts people really fucking bad. For Kanian to get into like an off flank position, maybe even leave a like flossing clone of himself right there.
Get ready to gritty on him.
Could the three of you give me either a history or nature check to determine the races of the other two?
Ooh, history or nature?
Yes.
They're both the same modifier, so
I got a 7.
oh wow, that is a natural 20 for a 20.
Mine were the same modifiers too. I did history. I got a 7.
19.
So with the nat 20 and the 19, the two of you definitely recognize one of them as the one that's just stepped out and is kind of still protectively standing near them in this very intricately ornate garb, this very almost a wing-like sweeping armor, holding a massive, it looks like a pair of feathers as a shield, and a large double-sided spear. You recognize with how their skin looks and how they seem to be, that's a Nephilim. The other one is a Kaijo, which neither one of these leaves an area called the Cauldron. Kaijo specifically do not leave the Cauldron, to the point that people think that they don't exist.
They don't to Orm.
Yep. Orm, as far as you know, the things that you're looking at is Dragonborn on steroids, and elf made of marble that's giving you a headache.
Yeah, I'm also definitely looking at two people for sure.
Yeah, you're just looking up and up at
Yeah.
this giant. What?
Oh, that's a dinosaur. Yeah.
Yeah. How your brain is connecting? I'm looking at a dark bluish Giganotosaurus, but like a
Yeah.
human. And then also scarily big elf with marble skin.
Okay.
Nephilim and Kaijo. You in the cauldron?
Was initially. Was ordered. Given reason. Met this
Okay.
one. Had the same orders. Told to find that one. Protect them. On mission.
You mentioned, and he'll look at Haslin.
Right?
You mentioned there was a problem with our job.
Right. All the stuff you collected, you're supposed to get, which you did, and good job for that. The world thanks you and all that bullshit. But there was a thing that you didn't know about, and that's becoming a problem. So it's not really your fault. Like, you did everything you're supposed to, but the job didn't give you the other thing that you probably should have done. So what we need to do is get the folk out of here, like as quickly as we can actually physically manage.
And what is that thing?
It's gonna take a really long time to explain the whole chicanery of it all. And I'm gonna be honest, I just got teleported here, and I'm trying to figure out how that happened. Notice Lana is no longer in the temple.
I have really good conversations with divine entities.
Right, you're also terrifying.
I try to be.
Well, let's just leave it at divine intervention by
Noted,
a
understood.
higher power.
Noted, understood. I'm assuming that you all like to have your memories intact,
Yes.
and to also have like control of all your faculties and not be reduced to a ravenous raving. She like looks over to Orm, a more ravenous raven, craving
Yes.
creature.
Preferably.
Getting
Yes.
references to a certain
To
thing
Amnesis?
that's
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you referring to Amnesis?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm still stuck on one thing, if you don't mind. And I can't get it out of my head.
One thing?
I might mind, it depends on how you want to ask this.
Oh no, there's a lot of things, but there's one in my head right now. You and kind of circle around to be in line with the group. You called out the others by what they are, who they are. How do you know I'm a bard? You specifically said bard.
That's easy. Your scent, how you're dressed. It's very much like the one that's in the cauldron. You're just older, so I imagine that you're the father. You did have reference that
Not actually.
you had reference that one of your sons was in the cauldron.
That did get a laugh out of Kate.
Didn't Law tell us
Into
that?
Lacanian's position!
I know, but it is like a genuine.
Yeah.
Weren't you just told your kid was in the cauldron?
I'm double checking. My other son just called down beams of holy light. I need to fact check.
Right. That's impressive.
Why? Why? That's all he mutters out.
Oh wait, no. That wasn't us. Our knowledge. That was okay.
His head, like, the... Kiryu's head, like, tilts. You seem confused. You don't think your son would talk about you.
He's never mentioned the cauldron. I only recently found out that my bartender slash landlord has been keeping my family letters from me.
To be fair, no one really mentions the cauldron anyway.
It's not really a place you should know about.
Why
I don't
does
know what
my
it is. What is there that we missed?
Oh, you were probably still wherever you... Okay, so about 7 months ago, um, there were images in the sky of a giant fight, of a ginormous construct in the moon, and I heard voices, and I think one mentioned children. Something big happened there that led to all the frame built gaining memories involving a giant construct that promptly got blown out of, it's not quite the sky, but
Space.
yes, past that.
The cauldron itself is what you might presume to be the center of Retia in a sense. And it's also where collective iomantic power originates and rages. These looks over to the Nephilim and my people. That is where we reside. And also looks over to Adrian, your son.
Well, at least he's safe.
Relative.
What is Silas doing there?
Studying.
Playing
Talking
an
to,
instrument.
like, thinks about it, studying, talking to a... There is this look of, like, immediate anger. One of the most annoying people I've had the displeasure of speaking to. Learning things I don't understand and refuse to try. They are...
Big brains.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Leaving.
And Orm is looking to Adrian, Filtiar, and Canian, where Canian's position is. And it's like, what are we going? Are we waiting? Are we...
Do you mind if we just stay here the night? We're kind of tacked.
Well, we did just get teleported, and we had intended to just find this place in the morning. So,
Well,
yes.
Time saved.
Yes.
Take a
We
risk.
just got done wrestling these items out of the hands of people that shouldn't have had them.
Could tell. Saw 8 flashes of light.
Yep.
Points
Other
at
son.
Adrian.
Your son
Other
is
son.
impressive. Do you have any level of that kind of power?
Absolutely.
There is a very wide smile. You do.
I'm just gonna
Guaranteed.
play along. Yep.
Can I read his response to that?
Give me an insight check.
Okay, one
We're
sec.
We're gonna get into some kind of fight, and they're gonna stick Adrian directly in the front and be like, "All right, do it."
And that's
That's
when
fine.
that's when I'll spin on my heels. I'll look at them and go, I suggest that you leave.
I suggest you do it.
Yes, I suggest you fight.
The markings and the belt that this Kaijo wears symbolize that he is a follower of Mortuos.
Oh,
So
boy.
he looks less like, oh yay, somebody powerful, and more like, oh my god, I get to fight something.
Yeah. Oh, something strong to fight.
He like physically cracks his neck a couple times.
You're looking at the
He'll
wrong one, buddy.
Watch this and then look over at Adrian. Oh, you have fun with that.
I do I see the look in this dude's face of I'm gonna fight something?
Sure, yeah, you can definitely see that he has this look of like it's less. I'm gonna be honest. For a kaijo, the look of I want to fight something is very, very similar to the
Teeth
I'm
out,
I'm going to
slobber.
I want to
Yeah,
eat you.
I'm gonna eat you.
yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna rapidly point up and go. I appoint Orm as my champion.
Looks over to Orm.
That's what I was talking about.
Well, you do have the stink of blood on you.
No, I don't. It got cleaned off.
Not the one that litters you. Deeper. Under your flesh. Between your knuckles and nails. Embedded in your teeth.
Maybe we can find out.
Oh, it would be an honor. I am Kiryu. Former. And he pauses. Once considered a potential chief of my tribe. Now I am a wanderer and a fighter.
Orm. Once sealed away longer than time can tell, and is now a wanderer who looks for every fight.
The Hadison raises her hand. If we're doing introductions, I'm Delzania Howlingfang. Just if we're doing introductions.
Tanian? Noble?
From across the room.
Tanian's feeling very disarmed now, just sort of waving the sword around.
Adrian quickly goes, "Yes, hi, Adrian Adelard. As much as I would love to bet on the two of you, like sideways. Do we think it possible before the both of you start murdering each other that we could get some rest so that I can bring one of you back should you get seriously hurt?"
This is a later date arrangement.
And you looks over to Philtiarn. Your scent's familiar.
Familiar how?
The stench of Hanyo. I encountered one with your exact same stink.
Female.
Nods. Don't look too discouraged. She fought well. You should be proud.
Pride's not how I would describe it.
You're kind of
More.
so odd.
Frustration. Well, that happens when you, only find out they exist recently and they're trying to kill you.
Be even more proud. Somebody that strong wants to kill you, you're doing something right.
Apparently, just by existing.
What about you, Glitter Cheeks?
As the Nephilim looks over, looks away for a moment, and just kind of takes a stance. That one is we've garnered her name as Nemesis. She doesn't talk.
Nemesis.
I'm gonna try Sylvan, old Sylvan, and see if they respond to it. Again, asking the same thing, like, "What is your name?"
They react as if they hear and understand you, and they just simply give a nod over to Delzania, just like a mm-hmm. Like she's correct, but she's not answering.
Okay.
Lady, chill, child.
I'll try a language. Because I do know Celestial. But I think Kanian, instead of asking for a name or information, will say in Celestial, hello, and I respect your decision to not answer us.
Her head snaps over to you when you use Celestial, and there's this confused look. Just this. How do you know that language? And then
it runs in the family. Also in Celestial.
she seems to think about this, and Kanyan, you hear in your head in a myriad of voices of differing languages, all of which sound as if they are in the throes of great pain. Impressive. You know of my language, or at least one of the languages we speak. However, as penance for a crime I've committed, I no longer have the tongue to use that. She smiles.
I think it takes Kanian a little bit to formulate like what's the respectful answer here, and then uh, um, we'll say back in Celestial, I respect and honor you.
For getting as high rolls as you got the last time, could both Filtiarn and Kanyan give me another history roll?
Orm just says, "You sweet-tongued bastard! You better teach me that language."
13.
Yeah, to the non-speakers, what does celestial sound like?
In terms of how this language sounds like here, think Hebrew.
Okay.
I think Kanian definitely sounds like kid at bar mitzvah reading the Torah. Like very much like I know the words. I've never said them out loud before.
The reason I say it sounds like Hebrew is because the translation back from how she would naturally speak would sound like the language of the angels, which is close to approximation would be similar to Aramaic, which would be Hebrewish.
Yeah. I got the exact same roll.
So somebody who's learned a language specifically by reading it and doesn't quite know the pronunciations.
Yeah.
Or I'm just looking at it as he got a reaction by speaking in that language. It's like, "Oh, you sweet-tongued bastard! You better teach me that shit."
Also, Kanyan, what did you get for your history check?
Exact same roll, 19.
With a 19, her armor looks familiar. As far as reading through, because there's very sparse text about Nephilim. They don't get talked about because they're ancient. So, but the text that does exist mostly talks about like their weapons and their armor, some of the things that they believed in. This armor looks very similar to armors you've seen in texts, but it's not associated to Nephilim as far as warriors. This looks like Valkyrie armor, which would be akin to their deity, like warrior deities level of power that they wield. It's a very similar armor design.
Okay, cool. I'll try to figure out a way. At the very least, I'll try to figure out a way to get that information to Filtiarn at the very least. In some way after this conversation.
Kiryu like makes a spot. Like no heed to the temple itself, just like picks up one of the tables and moves some of the chairs, and then just like makes like an area to just roll out a sleeping just a small like sleeping bag essentially. Gestures over to her partner, to their partner, who she like Delzenia walks over. It's like thank you. I could have done that myself.
There's also extra rooms, apparently. And by the way, he seems very reluctant as he moves to sit down on one of the tables. Filtiarn. Calabrian, but just call me Filtiarn. I don't need to be fancy.
Right, Filtiarn. That's a good name. It's a good it's Cahulian, right?
Yeah.
Are you from Cahulus?
No, I was from the Itonian capital.
Oh.
Just long time ago.
She nods. like thinks about how she wants to respond. If it helps, not many people kind of know how to react to people like me, so
I know the feeling.
yeah, same vein.
But if it's worth it, you look fine.
You don't give compliments a lot, do you?
No, not really.
Well, if it helps you, you also look fine. And she tucks herself into the sleeping bag.
He'll just kind of look away, but playing it off. Unfortunately, though, his tail kind of wags a little.
I'm gonna look at Orm and go, Orm, where are those bottles? I think big guy over here could use one. Jokingly gesturing towards Filthy Arn.
Oh, he already has one in his hand.
He still has 3 of them over there from when you brought them out earlier.
Yeah, no, he still has his. He's.
Yeah, and I'll pick up a second one here. Here's another one, big guy.
And he'll just start drinking from the bottle that he has in his hand.
Kiryu walks over to the large door and just sits down in front of it, gut style, like places the axe behind him and just eyes not leaving like the rest of the group, just watching all of you. Nemesis, to her credit, heads over to the statue of Lana, and then does like a kneeling prayer to it. Turns and just kind of begins to make herself comfortable on the ground.
I'm gonna go get a room. You guys enjoy the slumber party.
Be careful which one you open.
Can't be.
He just
worse
looks
than-
at Kanian when he says that. Like, what's that supposed to mean?
It can't be worse than what I already sleep in.
You gonna go into one of the rooms?
I'm just gonna pick a room.
Roll me a D100, buddy.
I live and sleep at the top of a ramshackle bar. Nothing in here can be worse.
Kanian stopped arguing when you said that.
41.
41's good. It's low. This seems like one of the rooms for like the cloisters essentially. You can see a fair number of beds. All of them seem to be unused at the moment.
This is nice.
You do see one that does have what looks like a diary set upon it, and the bed's like slightly disheveled. So it seems like this is the room where the Hattislin also sometimes sleeps.
Neat. I will not be a horrible person, Snoop. And I will get a bed, make it nice, and start drinking the wine that I have from this place before eventually getting ready to conk out.
Orm's gonna go over where Kanian is.
What's up?
Bottle in hand, just kind of like sets it between the two of them.
Oh my god, wine.
It's good. Tell me something you don't want anyone to forget about you.
I'm like reviewing my whole life. I when my mother stayed with us, I used to there were flowers that grew on the ivy, but they only bloomed on our roof. So every couple months there would be numerous staff screaming at the top of their lungs to get child me off of the roof of a manor, because I would just be stealing flowers from my mother. I don't. Is that enough? I don't. Huh. Yeah, I guess that. If I'm going to be remembered, it's love and loyalty, I suppose.
I won't forget that.
Thank you. Is there anything you would want to be remembered by?
I don't know yet.
We'll figure it out then.
We'll remember it together.
Cheers.
Just kind of share that drink, and while they're sharing the drink, Orm's gonna that same small candle that he had taken out of the other room and do that same thing, but committing what Kanian just told him to memory. Should I stay out here, keep an eye on our new friends, or you think we don't have much to worry about with them?
I don't know if they'll try to kill us in the night. Uh, honestly, I know you don't know what. It seems like you didn't recognize the Nephilim at sight.
No, or the big dragon fucker that's sitting in front of the door either.
The Nephilim nemesis. And Kanian's voice will like hush a little, though it does seem like everyone's sort of spread out at this point. The armor Nemesis wears denotes a certain status and strength that you could akin to a warrior god in some ways. I want to know why these three are here. I understand that we're all strong in our ways, but they do seem beyond us a little bit.
I trust your judgment. Apparently Adrian's kid is talking to somebody in the higher ups. Somebody who's in the main house, apparently, and that's how they got sent to us. That's how, the beautiful, amazing goddess of luck and love and temptation was able to make a divine connection on who was sending the message. So it's some kind of divine interaction between both parties.
Right. I guess I'm hoping that these three specifically are more only here because Adrian's son maybe overemphasized the need for his and by extension our security and not.
We also did just deal with a fuck all phylactery and some kind of rock that turns into vehicle, weapon, whatever. I'm not even 100% on how that thing works either. So we're dealing with things that are far beyond and above what I think is the average for this time.
Yes, you're right. Really, I guess it's just we handled all of that by the skin of our teeth a little bit, but we handled it. So if we handled that, how bad is the thing that we missed?
We didn't miss. They didn't inform. That wasn't our fault.
That they didn't inform us about. How, I guess, I'm hoping that we didn't just put out a fire only to be dragged into a much bigger one that's been going longer, if that makes sense.
If possible, I would like to ask how quiet you guys are being.
Oh, we're being quiet in our little corner that we're talking in.
I will
Yeah.
be honest with you, Filtiarn, your race is permitting you to hear much of this because now you are a Hanyo, specifically a Hanyo. So
Yeah,
as quiet
and
as you are,
if I had to roll, I did get an 18 on. Okay.
it's like hiding you opening a treat bag to a dachshund.
It's not that subtle to me. So,
Before you do
assuming
your
you two are kind of like very focused in your conversation, he would have silently got up from where he was to behind you guys to kind of sit on the back of wherever it is, probably one of the other tables. From what I understand, it's involving amnesis.
Orm, you do know what amnesis is. But you know
I do know what
you
amnesis
know
is.
it's a very different thing because of how old you are.
Was it still the same name?
Yeah, it still had the same name and the same functionality. It was, but what is essentially is a disease that ravages people from a mist that sprouts out of the ground like a geyser. It saps away memories. Infected by long enough, you become this shambling, almost like a zombie in a sense, stuck within this cycle of remembering but not remembering things, and it is highly contagious. For the others, you also know of amnesis because of a certain town that is in this region that got fucking destroyed because of an amnesis geyser that opened up in the town called Gilligan's Pit, now referred to as Gilligan's Grave.
So I know what amnesis is. It's an old way of handling problems that you don't want to call your own problems. For me, or people who were like me. My Kenyan, I want you to document as much of what is occurring with us, with these people, with what we're moving towards as possible. If you can write it in some kind of cipher, mix up, whatever the case may be. If we weren't told about this other thing, and it has something to do with amnesis, who's to say the person that was supposed to tell us wasn't affected by the amnesis and is now a stark raving lunatic who is just reaching out to people he remembered about the thing that he forgot to tell us that he now forgot and wants to kill people?
Or who's to say it wasn't a diversion for something else? If we were not specifically told something.
Again, they picked a pretty they picked pretty big things to use as diversions for something that apparently is so small that they only sent a 3-man team to come tell us that they forgot to tell us.
I mean, in all fairness, given what was involved, that was a pretty big distraction.
I don't know if it is. I hate to be that repeating point, but I know fuck all of what's going on around here.
At this point, I think a bunch of us are like this same way, and we've been in this era.
So I don't know what's normal. I don't know what's abnormal. I don't know what's expected, what's unexpected, what's broken, what's fixed, what works, what doesn't. That's why I got a big old deal with magic. I don't really fucking like the shit. There's big letters, big numbers for no goddamn reason.
Now, unfortunately, magic kind of runs everything.
Kanian,
Yeah.
you hear in your head that same voice. If you all have an issue with magic, you will be very disappointed with where you are intending, or where we are intending to take you.
I'm not going to. I'm going to like try to pretend like I'm still listening to the conversation, but in my head, just sort of say back. First, apologies if you heard us discussing you.
I'm not trying to listen in.
Second, I think it is less a. I can't speak for Orm actually. I can't speak for Orm. He most likely does just disrupt magic. I myself feel very active. Oh, this is a big lake and I'm a tiny fish, sort of thing.
Would it help you if I were to tell you where we intend to go?
Sure.
We are intending to take you all to the academy. Though being blunt, we are intending to take you to a part of the academy that technically doesn't exist. We are to talk to somebody who we have talked to previously. There is a note on the that we have talked to previously that you get the sense of it was a very annoying conversation. But we need to have a conversation with them as they are now, not as they were.
Do we see Kanian's eyes bugging out from the million voices screaming in agony in his head?
Check.
15.
I will actually join him in this.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I think at this point more it's like Kanian is like failing at pretending to pay attention to you guys and is now
looking
really
past
trying to
us.
like
14.
okay somewhat nemesis to say.
It seems like there's these sporadic moments where the blood vessels in Kanian's neck and then begin to like bulge out, and then his eyes get increasingly bloodshot as if something is causing pressure, and then it eases off, and then causes pressure, and then eases off.
I think after like the third time, he's just like glancing between Orm and you. Like,
I grabbed the bottle from out of in front of him, thinking it has to do with drinking.
Would you prefer me to spread this conversation to your fellows?
Yes, also I think my tiny little half raccoon head
Understood.
can't handle it.
A moment. Both of you now hear this same sound of a myriad of voices in pain, pressing against the back of your skull. My apologies, I was talking to Kanian.
Well, I love the sound of this.
We intend on taking you to the academy. Before you all have a moment of fear in that, we don't intend to turn you into the academy, but there is somebody there that we have to speak to.
I know fuck all of the academy.
I just want to note, like I said in the Discord, you've all mostly seen Adrian. Most of what he's done has been, oh, I cast stuff that alters your mind. Guess what the Academy don't like?
What we refer to in the Academy as turbo illegal.
Yeah, I alter minds, guys. I'm glad I'm not here.
We're gonna break a thing down here about this group, just for the Academy's sake. So Filtiar and Zahanyo, that's just hyper illegal to be here, so that's just out. Orm, you're technically a relic. So that's supposed to be locked in a vault. Adrian casts reality and mind-altering spells. Hyper illegal into the prison with you. The only one that's cool in this situation is the half Arcoon.
Hey, what's
Because
up,
his
guys?
spell levels, because his spells are below a threshold that they don't care about.
Yeah, this is good. You know, I'm just over here like Adrian, is probably like journaling at this point. He's just writing in a journal while you guys are like, yeah, we're going someplace that most of us are banned.
There is a moment where there's a pause and
Oh,
like,
no.
should I spread this conversation to Adrian?
No, he needs to sleep. We'll let him know.
Understood.
We'll discuss this later.
I think also, especially if certain strands
Especially
of
regarding the
information
academy.
are connecting.
Mm. But to note,
You seem to have a little bit of annoyance for the person that we need to speak to at the academy.
yes,
Is this the same person Kiryu was
yes,
talking about? That Adrian's son constantly talks to?
and exasperated, yes,
So Adrian's son constantly spends time at the academy.
no.
Or communicates with somebody at the academy.
Communicates with somebody that is not at the academy at the time that they're talking to them, but is at the academy at this very moment. Yes.
This will make him go gray.
There's like a moment's pause. They are hard to pin down in terms of them.
Oh, give me a shot.
Like that's an
I don't
actual
think
sound.
they need
It's like, they are frustrating. They've lived long enough that I am trying to get past their level of frustration. But they are confusing. And treat everything with a sense of vagity that is hard to understand. And they are
Looks at form.
Perfect for me.
Also, they constantly change.
That's fine.
One day,
Change how?
Well, one day they are one person, the next day they are a different person. The same person, but different.
So
Different
the body
forms.
constantly changes.
Nuts. Different forms. Also, they'll remember information, but it hasn't happened yet for them.
I understand that strangely. They're passing prophetic. They're an oracle or a diviner whose form is manipulated, or whether by self or some other
There is a sound.
instrument.
There is a sound she makes that is very like. That would be easy. Like that's the sound she makes. It's kind of like.
And it's like the basic answer that he's putting together is like,
she thinks about how she wants to respond. Just they are hard to understand, and we have tried.
that's fine.
And they do not like us.
Maybe don't try to understand.
They,
Just accept.
They think we're boring.
I'll talk to him.
You don't have a choice. We have to take you to them as they are now, not as they
I
were.
I actively do have a choice. I'm agreeing with your parameters of which this occurs. But if I wanted to not go, I can choose not to.
Words.
If everything is not to be understood, but simultaneously understand everything, I'll mince whatever fucking words I choose.
There also will be things of your own that should be of value there that we are going to steal.
That's all you had to tell me. I would have been on board so much faster.
Documents about Einstein and the family, at least.
Don't.
I figured I would.
Out of respect.
Out of my lack of respect for that family, I was just letting you know that we're going to take those documents.
Things that belong to me.
Nods. You can't see her, but you get the sense that she is.
Yeah, I feel the acknowledgement.
This is a conversation we're all
Yes.
still
Sharing.
privy to, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a group call.
There will.
All right.
I also.
So I do have a question,
Yes.
really quick. Sorry, I'm just really stuck on the wording. When you say stealing,
Yes.
stealing from who?
The Academy.
We're not. Oh, okay, that was the answer. I wasn't.
Who else?
Canian.
Will that be an issue?
We're already dealing with the Academy as a whole.
We're just making so many more enemies than we are friends, aren't we?
Says who? They seem great. That's 3 more friends than I had earlier.
He just kind of. It's not a smile. I don't even think it's a pleasant look. Welcome to most of the druidic races.
Still don't even get why you guys call it that.
Because of Cahulas. Cahulas is where all the druidic people are.
Eventually I'll sit down with a book, I guess.
And if it does
I don't know, that's what they call it. I don't give a shit.
And if it does help, I know that there is something there that might be able to help you out, Filtiarn.
Oh, so.
A path to where your sister is and where your father might be.
He just kind of narrows his eyes at the bottle. The realm of shadows.
Correct. In specific, a place called Honokuni.
I don't think I've heard of that place, but
It wouldn't surprise me if you haven't. It both was a place and is a place, so...
More of this fucking weird shit. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down somewhere else.
Soup.
Time passes. Time passes. It's not a soup. It's not an idea. It's not a point of contention. It passes. It is a thing. The hard thing I'm having right now is everybody wants to dance around information that has to do with what's going on now while I'm here. When before I was here, everyone was very straightforward about what the fuck was going on in the world.
There was like this moment of the time passes and if things happen where it's like there's this pause and then just I fully agree with you, but we are both wrong.
the planes are weird.
Also, soup technically passes.
I'm gonna break the rule that I set for other people and break things here.
Don't.
I think you might enjoy talking to the person we are going to be meeting, because it will be doing me great favor to have somebody that is just as frustrating. This being said, that's where we intend to go tomorrow. It'll take time. The capital is far.
Wait, we're going to Heaven's Jaw.
The academy is, at least the one that we are going to, is situated near there.
Looks at Canian. Looks like you're going home.
Every day is more stressful than the last.
You're young. You'll get used to it.
I need to take a very big swig of the bottle.
Should I inform...
Honestly, I think the only one here, maybe other than you, that I'm older than, may not be older than, is him, and they'll look at Or.
Should I inform your comrade that we're heading to the capital?
No, I'm gonna go do it. or just goes towards where Adrian is sleeping.
And before we're going to end for tonight, my favorite thing is we cut away, not to a familiar location. We cut to a small cottage where an individual that looks very similarly styled as Adrian, but a little bit more of a younger face with deeper bags under the eyes, a single David Draymond-esque goatee, and a very loose, kind of like cloakish wear, is just kind of chopping wood, pauses their chopping for a moment, seems to be hearing something, and just turns to address a small bobtail cat that's just sitting there. So, it seems like they finally made it. Right, I assumed that they would get there in time. Right. Because, of course, the things that we assume always tend to happen. At the exact points that we think that they're going to happen. I didn't say that much. I just assumed that they would get there. They're skilled. Right. Of course they're skilled. I was the one that directed you to find them. Why would I tell you about anything that wasn't going to be skilled enough to get there? I mean, you only know of their skill later, not of the current time. Don't lecture me. I know exactly what I am doing sometimes. Now, I'm going to warn you that what they are going to do will be extremely dangerous. You understand this? I assumed as much. Good. So you don't mind putting your father through what could essentially be just hell on earth on every metric? I presume that he could handle most things. He is, like, kind of a hero. That's sort of the whole deal that they do. Right, well, at least in some timelines, he's a great and tremendous hero, and then in other timelines, poof, he dies immediately. You better hope that it is one of the good timelines. I'm presuming? Because you're talking to me. That's hilarious that you think I care what timeline we're in. That is where we're going to end for tonight's session.
Motherfucker.
Great.
Oh my god, I just got the 1 in 1 million freaking Doctor Strange.
Thank you all for joining us for tonight. I know that jokes and stuff was a little sporadic. You also got to have podcast time for a short amount of time, so that was fun. You'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Go around saying stuff that you're in. What are you doing? We'll go backwards here. Pie, what are you in? What you doing?
Oh my god, first of all, I survived to the end.
Yeah.
I no drops.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can find me on Twitch at Pie's Bakery channel. I stream a Monster Hunter campaign. It's really fun. You can find me on YouTube at Pie's Bakery. That's where I upload the Monster Hunter stream after the fact. And a whole bunch of other stuff like Marvel Rivals. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Official Pie Guy. And I don't want to hype it up too much, but I may or may not be doing a thing that may or may not involve casting call, that may or may not involve a Skyrim-related campaign at some point in the future on those two sites.
Holly.
I'm Holly. You can find me on Twitter at Roxas Buddy, and then Blue Sky, Polycrown, I think. I need to use Blue Sky more. And you can also find me on itch.io at Polycrown as well, or HL Black Games. You can get my newest game, The Moon Fucking Hates You, which Ark plugged when the tornado got me earlier. And I'm currently working on a bunch of different projects for that. I'm finally picking up on working on the bestiary for The Moon Fucking Hates You, which right now is going to have like roughly 50 monsters in it.
Ark.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ark, or Ark Light Court, your Gridmaster, Lighthouse Keeper, Lore Rider, Beacon onto all beacons. I'm the Power Rangers guy. Power Rangers TTRPG lore. If you want to learn more about the universe, learn more about everything that goes on within the morphing grid, things that are happening within the Power Rangers universe, I'm your guy. Otherwise, if you want to catch superhero TTRPGs, Power Rangers TTRPGs, upcoming Kamen Rider TTRPGs, and various things of that nature. You can find me over on twitch.tv/arclightcourt. But if you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing at any point in time, go to arclightcourt.com. You can find all of my social media, playlists with all the projects and things that I'm a part of or things that I've created and done. You can request me as your GM in Start Playing. And even check out some of our merchandise. We've got shirts, we've got cups, we've got desk mats, we've got all sorts of really cool stuff. The hats, best fucking hats. Guarantee it, hands down. I've got a whole box of them coming in like 2 weeks. Oh, they're so good. But yeah, on Monday, May 19th, we have the finale of Chapter 1 of the Heritage Collection, where the team just recently finished facing off against the Joker, overrunning Wayne Manor with agents of the Court of Owl, the Talons, and they all seem to be hyper-aging clones of Bruce Wayne. And also, Bruce has another son out there who was apparently like kept secret and hidden away, and just announced himself on the international news before Dick Grayson could make a statement about Bruce Wayne being missing. So we'll see where that goes. And then shortly after, in the beginning of July, end of June, we'll start Chapter 2 of the Heritage Collection. And that's it for me.
Panda.
Hi, Red Panda Cola here. If I'm not on this stream playing as Filthy Arm, I'm on the other Thursday stream playing as Becky. Set Sail with Javante as our GM, as well as Pluto. Come on, brain. The Math God and come on, Luke. All playing our pirate game set in the One Piece universe. And shit's getting crazy. We also have Pi here as our guest.
And then hi, it's me. I run games on Thursdays. I do this. I also do Set Sail, a One Piece D&D actual play adventure. This Saturday, I'm going to be on Wanderer's Haven. I'm going to be playing Ilya Vethrin, the manliest minotaur this side of the Shivering Isles. Moo yeah! In a PvP game against a bunch of other players. I love Wanderer's Haven. I'm so happy that they were like, you nerd, you get to play a minotaur wrestler. And I said, hell yes, I do. The thing that I was talking about got casted, so look out for me posting about that on my social medias in the coming future. Other stuff and junk that I am doing. Still writing a book. Still working on another thing on the side. I have a couple projects coming up soon, TM, including potentially working with Shady Press over on an RPG of theirs as well. Set in the Hyrule universe, so that'll be fun. I have a lot of irons in the fire that I'm working on slowly and steadily. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I love you all. Take care and have a good night.